Well, good morning. I'm so glad to have this time with you. Today is a special day. I think it's going to be a consequential day for you and for me. If you listen to this and if you'll think about sharing it with somebody that you think needs this message. The word for today is struggle. And I don't know if you feel like that you're currently in a struggle or you've had struggles in the past or that your middle name is struggle, but struggle is real. And struggle only happens when we have a vision of something different. And I love that. And you have an ideal life. And the visions and dreams of your heart, the basic ones, the core ones, the ones that speak to your identity, are given to you by God. We are all creations of God, and wherever you are on this faith spectrum is inconsequential to me right now. But what is consequential to me is that you hear the message of God to your heart, that God is able to speak to your heart, and you hear that. And one of the greatest ways that God speaks to our heart is through this idea of calling. And a lot of people think of calling, I'm not called to be a surgeon. I'm not called to be a priest. I'm not called to be Mother Teresa. And what if we took that off the table, this idealism, and what if we replaced it with realism? And because you're called to be something, if you have a vision deep in your heart of making a difference in somebody else's life, of being helpful, of being connected, of being an assistant to somebody in the culmination of their dreams or their better life, then you have a call from God. As a matter of fact, the psalmist said in one of the great psalms of all time, he said, that is God who gives us the desires of our heart. He didn't say in that scripture that he fulfills our heart's desires. He said he gives us the desires of our heart. And you have a desire in your heart, an eternal desire, an eternity desire, because eternity has been placed in our hearts. It's just something that's natural to our spirit DNA. And I want to invite you into that in a much deeper and more significant level. And that's where I want to partner with you. But back to the word struggle. You don't have a struggle if you don't have a vision. Because struggle comes when you're moving towards something and there's pushback. And I don't know, like I said a while ago, you may be in a struggle right now. You may have a story of struggle. You may be wanting to avoid struggle. Or you may be in a struggle right now. And if you're in a struggle right now, then this might be a little bit more pertinent to you. But in a struggle, there's this phrase that I picked up years ago from a great gentleman that had a season of significant impact on my life. His name was Don Clower. And Don said this one time. He talked about push forward, break out, go over. Boy, I had little effects there, didn't I? Push forward, break out, go over. And you don't have to push unless something is pushing against you or something is an obstacle in your way. You don't have to break out unless you're closed in, and you don't have to go over unless you have an obstacle. But every one of us have things that push against us. We have walls in our life, and we have obstacles in our life, hills, mountains, situations that are in our life. And so today the word is struggle. And here's what I want to do. I want to encourage you in the struggle. And I want to say struggle. But don't struggle. This is the revelation word here now. Don't struggle from a perspective of being under. Struggle from a perspective of being over. See, even the victor in a wrestling match doesn't just walk out to the center of the match and proclaim the victor. No. They have to fight against their opponent. And I want to encourage you to fight against your struggle today. Fight through it. Fight over it. Fight around, not around it. You can't go around it. But fight it because you have power. As a matter of fact, the Ancient of Days says this, and I love this. He says, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. Listen to that just for a moment. You're going to make this. You're going to get this. You're going to have a revelation word today. Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. And then he says this, and we are more than conquerors through him who loves us. You've got somebody on your side today, and that is God. Again, I don't know where you are on the faith spectrum. It really doesn't matter to me where you are. What matters to me is where you're going and which way you're pointed and which way you're directed. And here's what I'm encouraging you in today. Be directed against your opponents, against your obstacles, against your hindrances. Point yourself. Get into the struggle, because when you can't win until you get into the struggle and you overcome. I'm Phil Underwood, and I'm thanking you for meeting me on this walkie-talkie in the pavilion at the park on the ocean. See you soon. Bye-bye.